Fuji Guys. Hey, this Z800 touchscreen camera, we're going to go through the top features, but first, if you just want to know how to load the card, the batteries, all the basic operations, check this video out. Okay, now let's get into this beautiful camera. Billy, as I mentioned, it was a touchscreen. Tell us about that touchscreen and some of the basic operations of it.
Absolutely great. I mean, we've got the black, we've got the red here, Z800. Sliding the lens opens, turns on the camera, of course. It's in the shooting mode, and at this moment it's in the video mode. And to change these modes, touchscreen wise, there's no button, so it's just on the screen. You can navigate between auto EXR. It is an EXR model, so it's very good for low light and different lighting situations. It also selects the different type of ER modes there is in the camera, but you have access to auto, scene position, movie modes, and a bunch of other cool shooting modes as well. But of course, looking back at the image, I want to show you how to navigate the screen. As you can see, I've got to look at it first. If I rotate it left or right, it automatically switches the orientation, which is cool. I can swipe it left or right, and you can see my images, again, go left or right. If it's a video, a button, playback button comes up and I push it, and I can play that video. I can zoom in, change the display and how you see that there. So just like all other Fuji cameras, but
everything's all touch control.
Touch controls, exactly.
Yeah. Hey, one of the neat modes that I showed my kids and they thought was really cool was the touch and shoot mode. And Billy's going to show you how to do it. But basically, you frame any of your subject within that large 3.5-inch screen, and wherever your subject is and you want to photograph, you just touch the screen and it automatically just gets the focus and exposure perfect for that area. So show us how to use that.
Very simple, Greg. You got to switch the shooting mode again by pushing this button to the touch and shoot. Okay. And it says focus on the touch area and shoot. So that's sort of a little info that's done. You hold the camera up and your subject to the left or to the right, you just touch that subject and boom, the camera automatically shoots.
So I think it's really good for kids and things like that, for example, where you're just trying to you're always trying to look through the screen, and they're not always in the center. They're not always staying still. So just touching that screen automatically.
And how hard is it to push halfway down and refocus your position?
And that takes care of all that for you. So that's an amazing, cool feature. The other cool thing that I was playing around with that I think is amazing is this 360-degree panorama. So we've all tried stitching pictures together to give us a panorama effect, but right in the camera, you can shoot 360 degrees around with one press of the button. Billy, show us how to do that.
So on the back of the camera, I switch the modes to 360 panorama. It tells me I can take ultra panoramic images. It allows me to change the degree of angle, so 120, 240, 360.
Okay.
So I'm going to use 360. It allows me to change the direction from left to right, right to left, up and down and right. In fact, I can make it go up and down and switch the camera this way, and it actually gives me higher resolution.
That's right. Yeah, if you want to make a panoramic print, that's probably what we'd recommend.
That's ideal. But for this demo purposes, I'm just going to hold the camera like this. I push the button, and it starts recording. And then the camera tells me sort of to do a 360 pan. Oh, I'm getting stuck. But something like that. Yeah. Ideally, we want to have that on a tripod.
Yeah, and this is probably in a nice scenic area or something. You're out by the lake or the mountains or anything. Anyways, I tried it up north last week, and it worked fantastic. Again, when you're out in the scenery and you have your arms free and you can move freely and smoothly around in a circle, it's amazing. So 360-degree panorama.
Very cool.
And so show us the playback on that quickly.
Yeah, it's on playback mode. You push the playback, and it actually just does a quick slideshow by sort of panning.
Neat. So it's almost like the movie of what you shot 360 degrees. Excellent. Well, speaking about movies, even though this camera is very, very tiny, it fits in your pocket, takes fantastic still modes, a gorgeous touchscreen, it's also a very, very good video camera, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And like any of our Fuji cameras now, we do offer HD video. So just by going to the menu and going to the shooting mode and selecting movie, and you're basically ready to shoot high definition video by pushing that to record. You push it to stop. Of course, we always recommend using a Class 4 SD card if you want to shoot HD video. Otherwise, it may be interrupted.
Right. Okay. Excellent. So cool little. Now, there's also what I would call all the tagging functions in this camera, and you know that you can get these SD cards up to 8 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes, which literally means you've got hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures on that card. So this camera has some really neat ways of what I would say organizing your photos, so that when you do put them on your computer, you know, you've decided which ones, for example, you want to upload to YouTube and Facebook. Or which ones you might have wanted to call your favorites, so that when you are kind of creating when you want to print and things like that. So show us some of the tagging functions on this camera.
Yeah, easily on playback, of course, when you look at your images, you can, first of all, give it a rating of, you know, how good that picture is in terms of star ratings.
Okay.
So it coincides with the FinePix studio software that's included with the camera, and by rating it 3 or 4 or 5, next time when I download it to the computer, I can see all my pictures I rated, you know, very, very high or low, or even on the back of this camera as well. So let me just set that, and now that's saved to be rated as a 5-star.
Right.
Excellent. I can also tag photos. So if I go into the menu and select Upload Mark, I can select photos to be uploaded to Facebook, or even videos uploaded to YouTube.
Nice.
So if I want to select some Facebook images, I can just go to the next picture, and yes, I want to tag that to go to Facebook. Yes, I want that, and then don't want that. I'm done. And that's it.
Cool. Now, one of the popular things to do with your photos these days is making photo books. And I'm holding up one here, one example, but the photo books really come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, and it really, the concept is the same. You're taking your own photographs from your camera and getting them basically published in a book that's printed with a hard copy, and they're very, very popular these days. But again, when you've taken 1,000 pictures on your vacation, and you're deciding on which are the 30 best ones I'm going to put in my book. Often enough it becomes a little bit of a trial when you're doing that. So being able to create these photo books right in the camera is one of the new features on this camera.
Yeah, when you take hundreds and hundreds of pictures, and let's say you're going on a trip and you just want to play back some images from your trip, you can create sort of a mini photo book on the camera itself. I have one here as a demo. If you select the photo book button, so if I go back to the screen, select photo book. And as you can see, this book here, I can say this is one of my trips to, I don't know, wherever. But as you can see,
so even if you don't print the photo book, you can actually, it appears like a book, or you can bring up a little group of photos in here called a book, or a special folder. So that's neat. So a lot of different tagging functions, or various ways to organize your photos on this new camera. Everyone's had a self-timer. You set the timer, you run around getting your picture with your family or your group or whatever, but we've really advanced the technology on that. We have things called the couple timer now, the group timer, or the auto shutter for pets. So tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, basically with the group timer, if, I select that, it just allows me to select the number of faces it detects in the scene, and once it detects all the faces that you've decided to, it shoots the picture. Okay,
nice.
So that's one way to do it, and there we go. The other cool thing to show you is sort of the baby release, so which when it detects a baby face, it automatically fires the picture, and it keeps firing until it detects the face. So if you're just holding the baby, you want to get a shot with the baby itself, again, it will just keep firing. As you can see, it's automatic.
So every time Matt's looking at this camera, it's taking a picture.
Look at that, isn't that cool?
Well, that's cool. And there's also, we've had pet detection on a couple of cameras before, but like face detection for humans, this camera can also detect various pets.
Go into the menu systems, under the scene position there's a pet detection. I can select that, and exactly the same thing. I select the dog, it detects my dog, but I also set the timer so that it automatically shoots the dog every time the dog looks at me. So those are quick little cool features with this Z800.
Besides this camera being the most gorgeous camera around, those are some incredible advanced features. So until next video, I'm Greg.
And I'm Billy.
And we're the Fuji Guys.
Guys.